So I have promised to do a response on the meanings and the synonyms of what pastors are. I've hosted a few people who wanted who went with different titles. In the past, I've done a pastor who has been ordained, a pastor who has not been ordained, so meaning that they are into pastoral service based on it being a calling. And I have done someone who's a bishop. So this is the essence of why I'm doing this. But after I've done this, I've actually realized that actually all of these are just almost similar words. But let me just go through them, and then I'll unpack as I go. And then the first one, for obvious reasons, will have to be pastor. So the dictionary says, so I've used different dictionaries as a disclaimer. I've used different dictionaries because some don't come out clear, and some I just feel they're just explaining synonyms. So I have not went as deep as that. So the first one, let's go with pastor. So the word pastor derives from a Latin noun, pastor, which means shepherd. It is derived from the verb pascere, to lead to pasture or set to grazing, to cause to eat. The term pastor also relates to the role of an elder within the New Testament, and is synonymous with the biblical understanding of a minister. So as you will see, I've anchored this based on what a pastor is, and all these words are going to somewhat relate to one thing. Here's the book that I've used. I think under this bad light, you are unlikely to see. Let me do this. Maybe you will see. So I've used this Concise Dictionary of Religion by Irving Hexman. I'll try to post it so you could see. This is a book I used. It's one of the books I use for the definition, especially the old ones. So I've done pastor. Now I'm doing bishop. So bishop, the lady Sangoma who came here, she calls herself as a bishop. So this is what a bishop means in this book: a senior member of the Christian clergy, usually in charge of diocese and empowered to confer holy orders. So the word bishop started here, and then it graduated to people being called archbishops, and then to the Pope. So according to this book, what it means by definition is, so the hierarchy is bishop, and then archbishop, so those will be your Desmond Tutus and everyone, and then the ultimate in the Roman Catholic Church is the Pope. It's almost like the head of state in where they live. Presbyters. So presbyters are essentially also pastors. So it says a presbyter is an elder or minister of the Christian church. It comes from the Greek word which means elder or senior, although many in the Christian antiquity would understand presbyter to refer to the bishop functioning as an overseer. The word presbyter is used many times in the New Testament. So as you see, just about all the words will mean the same thing. Okay, now I'm going to minister. So minister, one who performs religious ceremonies in church services, a member of the clergy, a Protestant church, a high official who heads the Department of Government. So this comes from a Mariam Webster dictionary, so you would see it also connotates a political minister. A pope is the Bishop of Rome as head of the Roman Catholic Church. You see now they are defining who a pope is. Like I said, for all intents and purposes, according to me, so the Pope is the head of the Roman Catholic Church, meaning the president, the head of state, because Rome, as it were, it's a country. Okay, a prophet. This one is a big one. So a person, so I'm defining prophet now. you would see a lot of people will come out as prophets on this. A person regarded as an inspired teacher, proclaimer of the will of God. So other word that goes with a prophet is a seer, a soothsayer, a forecaster, a fortune teller, clairvoyant, prognosis, prophecia, a diviner, an oracle, an ogre, a sable, a space wife, a spyman, huxpox, Vetinicator, and oracle for the second time. So in Christian news, in the books it talks about Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Daniel, and the 12 and the 12 minor prophets. So in essence, what it means, the prophet, like I said, is the big word. So it encompasses Jesus Christ as a prophet. Muhammad, peace be upon him, he was a prophet. And I don't want to dwell into the relationship between Jesus and how Islam and because it's a space for another video. In South Africa, the biggest prophet we have is Shembe of the Nazarene in KwaZulu-Natal. So he's one of the big prophets. So I always make parallels between the three. Shembe, Muhammad, and Jesus. Okay, and then an apostle. So there are church leaders and church pastors who call themselves an apostle. So apostle, the term apostle is derived from the classical Greek meaning one who is sent off. So someone who is sent off to go and do a mission. Any of the 12 disciples chosen by Jesus Christ. So those guys who were with Jesus Christ are the 12 are the disciples of Jesus Christ. So those carry the word the name apostle. But as you see, people are using the word apostle. You'd see in lots of Christian posters, a lot of them go with the word apostle. A reverend used as a title or form of address to members of the clergy. So these members of the clergy will come out a lot, because what the clergy means is it's a body, it's a body of people ordained in religious duties, especially in the Christian church. So it's a clique of people in the Christian church, so they're defined as the clergy. So these are the people who you would see just about anyone, a pastor, a priest, a reverend. They say they are members of the clergy. So this clergy could be some sort of a union in the church of the leaders, a cabinet of some sort, and then the others will just carry different names. A preacher is a person who delivers a sermon. So as easy as it. So if it says here, if you go and stand in the street, you preach, so you can be a preacher. So anyone who calls himself a preacher could be anyone who has delivered a sermon, for instance. Okay, I'm going to a controversial one. So this one says father. So father, so fathers were in the early Christian churches. The fathers were ancient and influential Christian theologians and writers who established intellectual and doctrinal foundations of Christianity. The historical period in which they worked became known as the pastoric era, and spans approximately from the late 1st to the 8th century, flourishing in particular during the 4th and the 5th centuries, when Christianity was in the process of establishing itself as a state church of the Roman Empire. So this is I think around the time of Constantine. So the word church, the word father was used. So the church itself, I've said a lot of time that it is not a church where it recognizes feminism, because I don't know in any of these names where they are called a certain hierarchy of the word mother, but here we have father. So fathers in these churches, and they are female it's not even the female version. It will be the subordinates in the Roman Catholic Church. They will be called nuns. If they are mothers, like Mother Teresa and stuff, well, I understand, but they are not frequenting our streets, so we could see them. So Mother Teresa will be one of those few that we would know. I'm speaking from Africa, and as someone who's been exposed to fathers more than mothers, it could be different in Latin churches where a lot of them are Roman Catholic people, but from where I come from, father seems to be a domineering one. So I'm going to chaplain. A chaplain is a certified clergy member who provides spiritual care and for individuals in a non-religious setting. So this one is pretty easy. So those will be priests in wartime, preachers in jails, in prison. This will be preachers in dormitories where it's a non-religious setting, but that priest is called a chaplain. Okay, and there's another one. It says ecclesiastic. It's a member of the clergy, so it's just a priest as a member of the clergy. And then, so they are defining the clergy as an old French word, man of God. So another word is man of God. So this man of God word defines what a preacher is. On this one, they do have a female version of it. It says, man of God, a biblical title of respect applied to prophets and beloved religious leaders. The term appears 78 times in 72 verses of the Bible, in application to up to 13 individuals. Moses in Deuteronomy, Joshua, Psalms, Ezra, Chronicles. So these are the places where this word was used, man of God. So it defines a leader, a high leader, and a prophet. I've already explained what the archbishop is. Suffice to say, the best example we have in South Africa is Archbishop, the late Archbishop Desmond Tutu. I think most Catholic countries do have. I think somewhere in Kenya or East Africa there was a famous archbishop. So now we get into the to the other less known words. They call it a holy Joe. A holy Joe is a pastor. So a holy Joe was originally a term used in the 19th century sailors to refer to those who ventured into the seas to minister to the saltier souls of the needs of the salvation. It also referred to present chaplains before expanding to refer to more generally to any person or chaplain. So the holy Joe would be what today they call someone who's holier than thou. I don't know what that means, but the holy Joe would mean a priest. And so so when they want to mock anyone, they would say it's a holy Joe. A kerkman. So a kerkman comes from Lacanza in English. It's from the Middle English. Kerkman, church warden, a lay official responsible for the church finances. It's Americanized from the German Kerkman, a cognate of the North German cognate Kerkman. So Kerkman comes from Kerk in German, and so essentially Kerk means church, churchman. So this is what Kerkman means. A Sky Pilot was written and recorded by Eric Burdon and the Animals in 1967 and released the following year. Its lyrics are not concerned with aircrews or planes, as the title implies. Instead, Sky Pilot is about military chaplains and the role they play in supporting the perpetuating of the war. So Sky Pilot means a pastor. A dominee is a minister. A dominee, so I remember JP Dominey, the cricketer. So a dominee is a pastor. A josser is a pastor, but also a josser means a fool. So this definition, all these definitions, you can Google them separately, but a few I've got from this book. It's a concise dictionary of religion. But that's it. I promise people that I will give these definitions for what we have done in the past and going forward. Thank you. I hope I made justice to the word.